heaven members, and welcome to your Scorpio season reading. Now, this reading is going to be a little bit different than what we've done in the past because this reading I am doing a face-to-face and I'll show you guys the cards. We also have 12 different timestamps because this reading is actually based on your zodiac or natal chart placements. I encourage you guys to not just listen to your sun sign or your main sign, but also listen to your moon sign, your rising sign, your Venus or Mars. And I also encourage you guys to cross-watch if you have a loved one or a partner, a child, a sibling that has one of these signs and you want to see what is coming for them or what is happening in Scorpio season, which is from October 23rd and it goes until the end of November, I believe. I'll put the specific dates somewhere, whether it be in the description or on the screen. But if you want to know what is coming for you or a divine message for you in Scorpio season or for them, I encourage the cross-watching. And before we jump in, I do want to say if you like any of the decks that I use in my readings, please make sure to purchase them from my affiliate links. It doesn't cost you anything extra to use those. It just helps me out a little bit. So those will be in the description box. As always, I always quote the specific decks that I use. And please do not forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I do have both of those accounts that I am active on pretty consistently. I put out new affirmations every new and full moon, and whenever there's something special going on, affirmations for you guys to follow that will help you during that time period based on the cosmos. And I also put out inspirational content on Instagram. I have a background in photography, so I do try my best to work pretty hard there to inspire you guys, even if it's just in my stories. I also offer free tarot readings every Sunday, sometimes every other Sunday, in my Instagram stories. All you have to do is follow, and when I post and ask for questions, you just have to respond to that in the stories. It doesn't show your name when I respond to you. They're private in a way. They are very fast-paced readings. It's not like what you would get if you hired me privately, but if you are interested in getting a free reading, make sure you follow me on Instagram so you can get that when the time comes. Usually I do them on Sunday evenings for about an hour, sometimes 2 hours, depending on how my energy feels that day. And last but certainly not least, if you would like to book me for a private reading, I'm currently still offering them through my Discord, link down below. They're usually 25 to 35 minutes a piece. You get recorded videos of what I have read for you based on your career, guidance, whatever type of reading you end up hiring me for. And eventually you will be able to order through my website, hopefully before the end of the month is my goal, to get that out to you guys before the end of the month. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump in. If you want to hop around the video, feel free. The timestamps are listed all down below for you guys. So let's jump in. All right, Scorpio, you are up very first for us today because it is your birthday this month. And Scorpio, what I'm seeing for you guys right off the bat, we have the Cancer Moon card, or the new moon Cancer card, and this is you and your loved ones are safe. So I'm sensing that you guys Scorpios are maybe coming through a really rocky time. If you are a Scorpio rising, you would have just come through your 12th house, which the 12th house is what I'm currently going through this month. I'm a Sagittarius rising. Your 12th house is kind of the final, and you may have spent a little bit more time alone. Just in general, I feel like this season is a little bit more trying because we also have Mercury retrograde going on, no matter where Scorpio falls for you. We do have Mercury retrograde going on, so that is going to maybe cause some confusion, maybe make us feel a little bit unsteady if we're stumbling over things. I would thoroughly encourage you guys during this season, this is like all signs, not to sign any contracts if you can avoid it, because on the 31st, we'll actually be entering Mercury retrograde. We're currently in the shadow phase, or the shadow period, but this card is really here to signify to you guys that you and your loved ones are safe, no matter what you're going through, what you, or maybe your entire family unit, you and a friend, whatever discourse is happening for you right now, it's not going to be something that is lasting. You will make it through this. And I asked for accompanying this kind of a little more information. And we have the 5 of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and then we also have the 8 of Pentacles. And with this, I feel like you guys maybe are focusing a little bit too hard on a situation, and maybe this is why you needed that reassurance that everything is going to be fine, because you guys are focusing a little bit too hard on the negative aspects right now of life versus the positive ones. And I'm not that spiritual teacher that is like, no, positivity all the time, because we do need to work through our emotions, and Scorpio is such a sign and a season of big major transformations for us, and potentially major rebirths for us. So I'm not trying to tell you not to feel those emotions, but I do feel like there might be some of you that are letting it overthrow you. So if you guys are cross-watching, please check up on your Scorpio, like, natal friends. Check up on them, ask if they're okay, make sure that they are feeling supported, because they might be really going through it. Scorpios tend to be a little bit more secretive signs, so they won't always show that to the outside world. You guys, as Scorpios that are maybe watching this, you don't always show that to the outside world, so please don't be afraid to let people support you. With this Queen of Cups coming out, this to me is you guys in your prime. So I feel like there is maybe a little bit of a transformation here. If this is the transformation, we have maybe this place of coming from a lot of fear and lack and self-doubt, and we're moving into our very intuitive power. The Queen of Cups is somebody who is very intuitive, and she derives a lot of her strength from her emotions. So I feel like this is really here to support you and to tell you, like, don't let these emotional discourses that you've been experiencing keep you tied down. Let yourself actually use those and channel those intense emotions to kind of lift you up. There always is a way through it. It's easier as well if you don't compartmentalize and try to just jump over it, like actually go through it, because you're going to come out the other side so much stronger for it. And on top of that, we also have that Eight of Pentacles coming out. For some of you guys, you are going to be working on new projects this month, and it's actually going to be very fulfilling for you. Maybe it is a new venture. For some of you, I think it could be new business ventures, and you are working through the setup of this. Again, if you're a Scorpio rising, this is going to be a really good time for you to put forth any new business endeavors. Just be wary of those contracts with Mercury retrograde. But I feel like this is all work is good work. So even if you are doing work on yourself, or if you are actually working in the physical world, it is going to be very beneficial for you in the long run. I asked for a message or a potential blockage that might be coming through, or something for you to transform this month. And we did pick up the Three of Water card. And I feel like the Three of Water card, you guys, I don't want to say the word unworthy, because that's actually not really the word that's coming through, but it's like you guys have this disbelief that life actually can be good. I feel like you guys have been drugged through it for so long that there's almost this disbelief that things can be smooth sailing, that things can just work out for you just because they work out. And you're actually being asked to reassess yourself and get to a place of where you can believe that life actually can be smooth sailing for you, that the waters can be calm, because the sooner you can put yourself in that kind of a mind frame, the faster it's going to come towards you. So beautiful message for you guys. That's a beautiful one. And then I also asked for a message from Spirit specifically. Maybe it's a specific guide to you, or just a message from Source, God, whatever that is for you. And I actually got Inner Temple Devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. So I feel like for you guys, a lot of the work you're going to be doing, like I said, for some of you, it may actually be physical, like material world labor, actually your day job kind of labor, or new business ventures. But for a lot of you guys, the things that are going to blossom the most is the work that you do on your heart space and on yourself. So if your heart has been aching, you might find that a lot of things are going to come up this Scorpio season that are going to cause you to have to go inward and to reflect on where that's coming from, so that you actually can heal it and get to those calm, smooth waters. So that is what I'm seeing for you, my lovely, lovely Scorpions. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your season, my loves. All right, Sagittarius, if you are a Sagittarius, this is the reading for you, my loves, or Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Mars. You get the drill. I'm a Sagittarius rising, so this one's actually for me. I'm anticipating what this is going to say. You are very close to achieving your goal with the gibbous moon. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, Sagittarians out there, you have been building something for quite some time, whether it be new mental structures, an actual physical business, a new way of living. Maybe you've just been trying to manifest certain things into your life and you feel like you've been getting nowhere, but you've been putting all the right seeds. Like you've been planting all the right seeds and you've just been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for something to happen. So I do want you guys to know and feel reassured that that is going to come to a head. You are very close to achieving what you desire. You are so, so close. So just keep holding on to that. If you are a rising Sagittarius, this is actually going to be your 12th house going through Scorpio season, which is the last house before you go into your first house in Sagittarius season. So with your last house, this is a time when you may find that you are a little more withdrawn from the world. And you might want to take some more time in for introspection. And we'll kind of get into that in a little bit, what introspection might be happening, because Scorpio season is a time for deep transformation and kind of assessing our own emotions and how we feel. So what also came up for you guys, we have the Four of Cups, the World card, and Justice. So the World card is no surprise to me. This is especially if you are a Sagittarius rising, and we're about to come into Sagittarius season if you're a Sagittarius as well. This is the completion of a cycle. This is the end of a cycle and the start of a brand new chapter. So it's very, very, very symbolic for Sagittarius this month. And Justice is coming out because I feel like what's happening right now is there might be some things that make you feel like you're being thrown off course this month, but they're there for a reason. A good mantra for you guys this month is everything is happening for me, not to me. Because I think what's actually happening is I'm getting this vision of like sand, like do you guys know about like the California gold mining when they would use like, I don't even know what they were called, but like basically like a sifter that you would put like a bunch of like sand or rocks into, and you'd sift through it maybe with a little bit of water too, and it would sift out all of the sand and leave the rocks there to see where the gold was. And I feel like what's happening is you guys are sifting through maybe some really hard things this month, but because you're sifting through them, it's actually going to rebalance you and you're going to come to a place of better alignment for yourself. So I do feel like this month might be a little bit hard in that sense, but I really feel like this is going to be a good time for you guys. It might be like you might be working through some emotional stuff, but I do feel like things are going to kind of turn around very quickly. The one thing I would say is I do see the Four of Cups coming up, and that is, to me, somebody who is like so set in their ways or so bored or so it has to happen this way. This is my card of like, I'm choking the universe. And it might have something to do with this card as well. You being very close to achieving your goal because you've maybe planted all these seeds and now you're saying, okay, universe, what the hell? I've done everything that you've said. I've done this, this, and this. Why am I not taking off? Why is this not taking off? Why am I not receiving my gifts? What's happening? What have I done wrong? And you're so set in only receiving your gifts in one way that it's like you can't even see the beauty happening around you. So be very careful with that. It's very important, especially if you're into manifestation or anything like that. It's very, very, very important to set the intention and then let it go and let it show up in any way that the universe deems fit. The how is not your problem. Like all you have to do is open up the catalog and pick out what you want and set the intention for it and then let it go. You actually have a really easy job in that. You don't have to work on the how unless you feel inspired and called to do a certain action. So, don't get trapped in this, well, it has to happen this way, And then I did ask for a blockage that might be coming up that you're going to be transforming this month or this season. And for you guys, I got the journey card. And when the journey comes up in a transformative way, it means that kind of again, tapping into this Four of Cups, you're not allowing yourself to actually experience the next journey that's coming up for you, because you're not allowing yourself to see it unfold and to start. It's like you're so caught up in where the past has put you that you're not allowing yourself to go on new exciting journeys. You need to let the past go in order to step forward. So I think that's going to be maybe even the thing that's going to be being rebalanced, is things that it's like your past is coming up and it just, you need to let it go. It already happened. It's done. Let it go. Easier said than done, but I feel like everything in life is. And I asked for a direct message from Spirit as well, whether it be from your guides or Source or God. And the message that I got for you guys is boundaries. So I also feel like for a lot of you, there might have been some emotional stuff coming up with others, and you actually need to be setting up appropriate boundaries, whether this be with a parent, a child, a family member, a coworker, a boss, a partner. It's knowing your limits and knowing that you are allowed to set up boundaries. Even if it's energetic boundaries, it could come down to that as well. So be working on your boundaries. They're going to be very important for you this month. And it actually says, where do you need to establish better boundaries? So that also could be with work too. If you feel like you've been working really hard at something, give yourself a break, cut yourself some slack, and don't be afraid to say no. No is a complete sentence. And that is what I have for you, my lovely Sagittarians. All right, Capricorn, you are up. So first and foremost, the card that I see for you guys is conclusions are within reach with the full moon eclipse. So for you guys, this, especially if you are a Capricorn rising, for you guys, this is your 11th house. We're dealing with your 11th house, which is the house of Aquarius. It also deals with your hopes and your dreams. So this can be a very, very, very big month to manifest, but you guys are also moving into a place of coming into your 12th house next month, at the end of next month. So I do feel like you guys are kind of winding down into a conclusive point, and you're kind of sifting through and figuring out what has worked and what hasn't worked for you over the past year. This is like your guys' final harvest in a way, like your final harvest before you guys kind of go into your like reassessing period. So it is a time of like great joy and appreciating your success. We also have the Queen of Wands for you guys, the moon, and the Six of Cups. So I do feel like this is actually a time where you are going to be spending more time potentially with family members, loved ones, or close ones. It's a very sweet bond. The Six of Cups to me is people that share a very sweet connection, especially if there is any kind of a past. And this could do with familial connection. I also look at the Six of Cups like somebody that you have maybe like done past lives with as well. Like maybe you have met somebody and you feel instantly connected to them. I feel like this card can symbolize a lot of the time like a very cosmically entwined relationship, especially with the little star flowers and whatnot in the card. With the moon card coming out, I do feel like this is an opportune moment for you guys to get a little bit more in touch with your shadow self, which during the time of Scorpio season, it is a time of deep transformation and emotional growth for a lot of people. So I do feel like you are being asked to kind of ask yourself internally, what is it that you really desire? Where are you wanting to carry yourself in the next several months? And I also feel like there are going to be some things that are maybe held back from you. I feel like when the moon card comes out, I don't necessarily always think of it as a cautionary thing, but I do feel like at times it's like, I look at them very literally, the sun and the moon cards. And when we have the moon, think about doing something outside in terms of under the moonlight or under the sun. At which point of the day are you going to be able to see things way more clearer? So I do feel like there might be a little bit of clarity being held back from you right now. You're not really sure which way the way is forward. I could see it being a little bit more of a confusing time for you guys. But at the same time, because this Queen of Wands is coming out, I do want you guys to trust yourselves. Trust yourselves and trust that you are able to create the reality that you are wanting to. Trust that the direction that you're headed is meant to serve a purpose, even if it comes out being something that is for your benefit or something that feels like it wasn't for your benefit. Rest assured that you are always on the correct path. You are always like even if you need to say that to yourself, everything is always working out for me, then say that for yourself. You are always on the correct path. You are always doing things with your higher self is never just going to walk away and leave you, you know? So even if things don't necessarily make a whole lot of sense right now, or maybe you do feel like everything you've been working towards, maybe even this entire year, maybe things aren't really making sense and you're not really getting any conclusions or answers, this isn't really the month for you guys to get those answers or draw those conclusions. This is a time for you to celebrate deeply intimate connections and a time for you to like marvel at your own personal power and just trust it. Just trust the process. And I did ask what a potential blockage or transformation is going to be coming up for you guys this month. And I did pull the King of Earth. Now, the King of Earth, when we talk about potential transformation, it's you actually coming out of this place of, I almost don't even want to say it, but I don't like to sugarcoat things. The King of Earth is a card that is not necessarily my favorite when he comes out in a blockage, because it's somebody that can tend to be a little bit greedy. This could also be somebody that is very gender bias, somebody that can hold a little bit more misogyny and isn't in touch with their own divine feminine. And I do feel like that is coming out a little bit because you're being asked to get in touch more with your divine feminine this month. And you're somebody that maybe doesn't actually think too hard about that and just kind of, you know, I mean, even if we think about Capricorn, they embody the divine masculine. They embody a Sagittarian ruled existence. So I always look at them as kind of like the mean, stern dad of the zodiac. So, I mean, it's no surprise to me that you're being asked to kind of look at this side of yourself a little bit more. And I'm not saying that people that are Capricorns can't be divinely feminine. I would never say that. But I do feel like Capricorn, they're ruled by the 10th house. You guys are ruled by career and pushing forward and making things happen. And you're kind of just being asked to slow down, to recognize everything that you've already done and just, you know, recognize that you can live a King of Pentacles lifestyle, but you need to rebalance. You need to rebalance the masculine and the feminine in order to have that. So I feel like that actually might be what's coming up for some of you, is you kind of want to live that King of Pentacles life, that really beautiful, luxurious. It's like, when is that happening for me? When do I get to start to live my life the way that I want to, in a almost like a material way, and not in like a materialistic way, but just in a very physical reality way. You want to see the business you've been growing actually start to flourish, or the relationships you've made, the connections you've made. You want to move up at your job, whatever it might be that you've been reaching towards. It could even be building a family. Whatever it is that you've been really reaching towards, I do get the sense that you can have that, but you need to ask yourself maybe where you've been pushing too hard. Because I feel like you've been trying to force it a little bit. And the conclusions are within reach. I do feel like you will get some kind of conclusion, maybe even coming into Sagittarius season. But I feel like right now you guys just really need to celebrate yourself, celebrate those around you, and kind of get more in touch with your touchy-feely side a little bit. And I also asked for a message from Spirit for you guys, and I got the Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. So whatever it is that you've been working on, that's why I kind of brought that up. This is something that you came here to do. Especially those of you that have been trying, you Capricorn energied people that have been trying to align your lives with your purpose. Whatever it is that you've gotten the idea for that you feel like maybe isn't flourishing, like you came here to do this. So trust that. Your guides want you to know that they're there standing by, ready to help you with it. Trust that it's something that you're meant to do in this life. And I feel like there was something else I was about to say. You know, working with your 11th house this month, don't be afraid to set some intentions for your hopes and dreams, and don't be so scared. I feel like I'm getting this energy, like whoever I'm connecting to right now, I feel like I'm getting this energy of like, nope, I can't have that. Nope, I can't do that. Like you have this like, there's this like disbelief in yourself. So I do feel like you guys are going to be getting the answers to that this month, and you're going to be more self-assured. By the time you come out of this Scorpio season, I do see some self-assurance coming through, but in like a positive way, not in a soul choking way. I'm sorry that those are the words that came out, but anyways, that is all I have for you, my lovely Capricorns, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Scorpio season. Hello there, my beautiful Aquarians. Welcome to your Scorpio season reading. If you guys are Aquarius risings, we're actually going to be dealing with your 10th house this month. And the 10th house actually corresponds to your career. So just keep that in mind. If you are setting any kind of an intention or anything that you're trying to bring into your life, you might see your career be a little more highlighted this month. Now, first and foremost, the overall message that I have for you guys is that confidence is your key to success with the new moon and Leo card. So anywhere in life that you are feeling unconfident, this is actually a time for you to change that, change your inner dialogue. And there are some cards here that kind of mirror that, which I'll explain. So Scorpio is a beautiful time of transformation for everyone during this season. So for you guys, I feel like you guys are going to be getting major lessons in confidence, which I find really interesting because I find people that have a lot of Aquarian energy in their chart or are Aquariuses, I find that you guys, one of my favorite signs actually, I think Aquarians are my favorite sign. I'm not even an Aquarius, nor do I have it really anywhere prominent in my chart. I just love Aquarius people. But I find that you guys don't normally lack a lot of self-confidence. So that's kind of surprising to me. I'm feeling like you guys are going to be feeling a little bit down on yourselves this month. And I say that because we have a 5 of Swords coming out. We also have a 3 of Pentacles and a 6. So I feel, or a 6 of Cups. I feel like for you guys, there's actually going to potentially be a past person or a past situation or a past pattern that is going to be resurfacing for you this season. And because of that, it might actually make your confidence dwindle a little bit. If this was a relationship or a person, a friendship, something that maybe you'd cut out of your life previously or you thought was done, because it's resurfacing, I feel like it's making you question yourself a little bit. Maybe this person or this situation had the ability to do that. And I feel like you maybe are going to want to come out with the claws out and wanting to deflect and defend yourself. And though I don't think that's necessarily always a bad thing to do, just make sure that you keep your words in a very loving, honest fashion, because it is always hindsight 2020. And sometimes we say things that we don't mean, because the 5 of Swords really speaks on having won a battle or winning at all costs, but winning even in a way that, like, recognizing even if you've won, somebody else still gets hurt. And so this is me, I guess, or these are the cards asking you, it's not me. These are the cards really asking you to remember that, especially if this is a relationship or a person, that the other person still has feelings too. They're still a person too. So please keep that in mind and keep your words in order with that. And on top of that, if this is a situation that's resurfacing, this situation could also be affecting other people and not just you. So please keep that in mind. I do feel like this season is going to teach you who your real friends are, because if it is something that's coming up with someone, it could even be somebody that's just in your life that needs to be let go. You're really going to learn who your real friends are. And I feel like the 6 of Cups is really signifying a past connection of sorts. So just be prepared for your past to really like get lit up. Working with your 9th house, this would be the house of Sagittarius. Or excuse me, not your 9th house, your 10th house, which is the house of Capricorn. If you're an Aquarius rising, I feel like for you guys, some of this could actually be in the work setting. Like this could be a work relationship or something that happens at work, and it's maybe going to make you not feel so great. A blockage that you're going to maybe be transforming this month is actually love. So I thought this was actually a really beautiful message coming through for you guys, because with love, when you have this as a blockage, this talks about how you maybe, number one, need to cut certain people out of your life in order to move forward in a better way. And it's not because they have done something so grandiose and wrong. Sometimes those people just aren't meant to be in our lives. And like I say this all the time as like a silly little analogy, but if you think about your life like a train and it's always moving forward, never backwards, you need to remember that some people will get on at a certain stop and they're not meant to ride your train for life. They are meant to get off maybe 5 stops later, maybe the next stop, maybe it's just a brief encounter. They hop on and they get right off. But you know, some people aren't meant to ride the train forever with you. So please keep that in mind. And this also really talks about speaking kinder to yourself during this time, especially with having the confidence is your key to success. You know, speak kindly to yourself. Don't let your own mental mind block you from blessings, from receiving that which the love that you deserve. Don't let that block you. And on top of that, we also have a special message coming through from your guides or divine from source. And that is keepers of the earth. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. And I love this extra little message for you because as we are in the month of October, I know Scorpio season runs through November, but as we are in the month of October now, while this is going up on the 31st, it is Halloween or Samhain, and during that time, it is believed that the veil between our world and our ancestors' world, or those that have passed on, is actually thinner. And so we're able to communicate with them a little bit more and feel their presence more. So during this season, it is no coincidence to me that this would come out for you. So, you know, lean on those, lean on your guides, lean on your angels, lean on your higher power, and whatever that is for you to really support you through this transition, because I feel like it might be a little bit of a doozy. I'm not going to lie about it. But that is all I have for you, Aquarius. I wish you the best during your Scorpio season, and I hope it all goes well. Remember that you are a confident, loving, amazing individual. Hello, my lovely dear Pisceans. Welcome to your Scorpio season message. So my lovely Pisces, the first thing I want to say to you is if you are a Pisces rising, this is actually going to be, Scorpio season is going to be transiting through your 9th house, and your 9th house, that actually corresponds to Sagittarius. And so this is a time where you may find travel happening. It's a good time to also manifest travel, getting out, going out, adventuring, exploring, taking yourself on adventures, you know, and also Sagittarians are more of an optimist. So just kind of keeping feelings lighthearted when things feel heavy, because going through the sign of Scorpio, this is a deeply transformative time. Transformation has a lot to do with the sign of Scorpio. So anything that isn't, you know, working out for your highest good right now, maybe is going to bubble to the surface to be transformed. So I do see that for you guys right off the bat. We see a fiery climax approaches with the full moon and Aries card. And I feel like for you, my lovely Pisceans, I don't feel like a lot of you guys with strong Pisces energy really like to fight. You guys are people that kind of just like to keep to yourselves and be in your own little bubble of mysticism. And you guys are also very highly intuitive more often than not. And I feel like for you guys, it's hard for you to process through really hard climactic times, especially if there's an argument erupting or something that really throws you off of your turf, so to speak. And with this fiery climax approaching for you during Scorpio season, I feel like it's going to be really important for you guys to use your intuition to get yourselves through the situation, because we have the Queen of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Devil card coming out. And I feel like some of you guys, this is actually a really unhealthy attachment to a person. When the Devil card comes out, it can talk about attachments to things as well. It can signify addiction. It can also signify just unhealthy habits and attachments to things, TV, social media, overeating, but it also can be like drugs and alcohol. So keep that in mind. It could just be a very unhealthy attachment. For some reason, I'm feeling for a lot of you guys, it's an unhealthy attachment to a person. This could even be a parental or guardian type figure, a relationship, a romantic relationship, a friendship, any sort of relationship that just isn't really serving your highest good, I feel like a lot of you guys are going to need to use your best discernment and judgment to remove yourself from that situation. Because the thing with the Devil card is when it comes out, it feels like you are completely trapped. You feel like there's no way out. And I'm here to tell you that I feel like the Devil card is a lot of excuses. It is a lot of, well, I can't get myself out of this situation, or I can't cut this person off because they're family, or we've been friends for so long, or whatever it might be. The fact of the matter is, if they're really not there and they don't have your best interests at heart, you can. You can actually cut them right off. I feel that a lot of times in our modern society, at least in America, not sure how it is elsewhere, but in America, a lot of people, I don't say we because I do not participate in that, but in our culture, we often think that if somebody is family, we've been conditioned to believe that we have to keep them around. And the reality of the situation is that we are all just people. We are all wounded children running around wounding each other, unfortunately, because we've all been conditioned from what came before us. And so don't even blame like your parents or anybody for even setting that precedent, because it came from their parents, and from their parents, it came from their parents. And ultimately, it all comes down to this survival technique that all of us needed tribe to survive. And it was very hard to survive out in the world and in the wilderness without a tribe. And so, you know, that kind of is ego coming in as well, telling us that we need these people to survive, when in reality, we really don't anymore. And I feel like this is going to be it's kind of going to come to a head for you guys this season. You're going to realize that this person is not there to serve your highest good, or this addiction, or whatever this unhealthy habit is. I feel like for a lot of you, it really is a person though, or a relationship. And you're going to have to use your discernment and your best judgment on how to remove yourself from their presence or from the situation. And the Page of Cups is coming out, I feel like, as a really encouraging card from this situation that's bubbling up, because the Page of Cups is somebody that is able to manifest whatever they want or put themselves in a new place, but they have to be willing to believe that any outcome is possible. So I feel like, truthfully, your biggest challenge isn't even going to be the person or the obstacle in question, or the item, or the addiction. Your biggest obstacle is going to be your own mind, and believing that you actually can put yourself in a better situation from where you currently are, or that you can meet a better partner, or you can find other means of family or better friends that are more suited for you. So I feel like that is going to be your biggest challenge this season. And on top of that, one of the blockages or things that you're going to be transforming this season is the Queen of Air. And the Queen of Air, I think, actually is more of a warning sign for you guys in a blockaged position, because the Queen of Air really signifies somebody who can get caught up in their own arrogance and believing that they are completely right and everybody else's version of the truth is wrong. So really take into account that even if you do feel trapped by someone or by an idea, that there is two sides to all stories, and nobody is technically wrong. I always like to say that there's three sides to every story. There's that one person's, another person's, and then there's the truth. So rest assured, don't get caught up in your arrogance this month, if there is any. And also, this is about cutting out toxic people from your life. So it might be that somebody else is being the arrogant person and you need to let them go. And last but certainly not least, I asked for a message from Source for you guys, and we got the ever unfolding rose cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. So let that be your mantra this season. Whatever you're going through, if it feels really hard, if you feel like you can't survive without this person or this thing, recognize that everything that is happening for you this season, it's happening for you. A lot of times we say that there's like a quote that talks about when a seed is planted, and in order for it to actually bloom completely, it has to crack open and go through what would look like to the outside world complete destruction before it can actually bloom into itself. So let yourself bloom. Don't be afraid to be the ever unfolding rose. It's happening for you, not to you. And I love you so much, my beautiful, wonderful Pisceans. I hope you guys have a wonderful Scorpio season. Thank you so very much for watching. Hello, my lovely Aries. This is your Scorpio season message. And for those of you that are Aries risings coming through here, this is actually going to be your 8th house being transited through Scorpio, which is crazy because Scorpio is the 8th house. So it's almost like, I feel like every month, it must be really interesting being an Aries rising, because being an Aries rising, you always get all of the houses on time. I've never really considered that. Like, y'all are powerful. What the heck? But with that, you are going through this deeply transformative sign, and you are also having that specific house be lit up at the same time. So the house of Scorpio is all about transformation, death. What is it? The death and rebirth? I might be thinking of the Pisces house. Apologies. No, I'm sorry. Scorpio also has a lot to do with like the occult and like the spookier side of things, and getting in touch with your spirituality, your psychic gift as well. So first and foremost, the number one thing that came out for you guys is that this Scorpio season is actually going to be a deep time of healing. And I feel like that kind of is the truth across the board for Scorpio season, period. It is a time of transformation and healing. And for you guys in particular, though, this is a time for healing. So whatever you have kind of been going through or are about to go through during this season, you really need to be prioritizing yourself and whatever healing means for you. If healing for you literally is you sitting down and playing video games because you don't normally have time, then that can be healing. It doesn't have to be going on a hike in the mountains and meditating, unless that's what you perceive your personal healing to be like. I would encourage you guys for healing. I'm not saying don't play the video games. I think that's part of it, but I would encourage you guys to please make sure you actually take time just to be with yourself. Don't just like give your time away to everybody else and spend time around others, because it's really important during healing to fill up your own cup so that you can go forth and fill up others' cups. You see what I'm saying? So it is going to be a time of deep healing for you. And I do feel like this is something that you need to heal from. I think there might be some past things coming up. It could be past trauma coming up for you that needs to just be healed in a different way that maybe it wasn't previously. It's going to be a really important time for you guys to listen to your body. Even if there's any kind of ailment going on, listen to what your body is saying and go from there. I would actually recommend, if you guys are familiar with the work, it's a very interesting read and something that I do believe a lot in, is to look into Louise Hay a little bit. She has a book called You Can Heal Your Life, and she actually gives a guide as to certain ailments, what might be going on under the surface emotionally for you. So I would encourage you guys to really listen to your body and give your body what it needs. Even if you have a certain kind of craving, like sometimes people do, believe it or not, actually get cravings for green leafy vegetables. I personally love vegetables, so I always find it weird when people hate them, but that's just me. Some people hate vegetables, but listen to your body, listen to what it's craving and what it wants, and really fuel that, because it will help you get into that spirit of deep personal healing. For you guys, we have the Death card, we have the Six of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. So I do feel like for this healing, I don't want you guys to get scared of the Death card. I feel like a lot of people are scared of that card. It has nothing to do with actual death. I mean, I guess technically it can, but I don't read that way. Most people don't. But death, to me, is about a deep transformation. And we're talking about this season of Scorpio. You're going through a transformation, because with death, the rebirth does come. So I feel like you currently are going through something that is actually meant to put you more in alignment with your purpose. And you need this time to actually take care of yourself so you can move into that. And I also feel like you guys aren't afraid to do that. I mean, we have the Queen of Wands here. The Queen of Wands isn't afraid to go off on her own. She isn't afraid to leave the table when respect stops being served. So especially if this has to do with your own personal healing, where maybe somebody did hurt you and you need to go and kind of go into yourself. And I said this in somebody else's reading today already earlier, that no is a complete sentence. Like, you don't need to make excuses as to where you're going to be with other people. You know, if you need to take some time out and go take a bubble bath, do what you're going to do, but everybody and their mom wants a piece of you, like, no, this month I am prioritizing myself and my own personal healing. Done. Or just no. Don't be afraid to say no. And I don't think you guys are. I don't think you guys necessarily are. I feel like, again, the Queen of Wands is somebody who is not afraid to leave the table when respect stops being served. So don't be afraid to kind of stand on your own, and you don't need anybody else this month. This month is really about you connecting with you and going through, to me, what is a rite of passage. The Six of Swords always talks about a rite of passage and something that you need to go through for your own self-transformation, especially with a Death card coming out on top of that. Dang. The next thing is I asked the cards what is going to be transforming for you this month, or a blockage that you could work through. And we have the Nine of Earth. I almost said six. We have the Nine of Earth, and the Nine of Earth card really talks a lot about giving to yourself and not giving all of your time or your energy to other people. And it's also about giving more of, like, if you wouldn't say it to your friend, don't say it to yourself. Changing your inner dialogue to match how you speak to others. I mean, if you're not speaking nice things to others, maybe reconsider that as well. But this has a lot to do with how you speak to yourself privately, and changing it to a way that is more positive. You know, when you wake up in the morning, when you see yourself in the mirror, first thing, do you sit there and criticize your face, criticize how tired you look, or do you say, I'm a badass bitch and today I'm gonna rock it? Because that's the attitude we're looking for. So, you know, don't be afraid to speak nicer to yourself and to break down. Like, I know we think that our thoughts don't really do things, but they do, because what we feel internally manifests outwardly. So put good intentions and good things into yourself. And lastly, I know I said no is a complete sentence, but I asked for a message for you from Source or from Spirit, and they gave you the Yes card. I never see this card. Never have I asked this deck something and had it give me this card. But I get it for other people, just not me. Maybe it's because I have that attitude. But it says yes. Just say yes. So say yes to yourself. Say yes to healing. Say yes. If there is like a salt bath place that you've been thinking about to go do some deep healing, say yes. If somebody gave you a free pass to a yoga studio, say yes. Go do something in the spirit of taking care of yourself, especially if somebody's already offered it to you. And on top of that, through all of this healing work, you might feel a lot of ideas come up for you that are actually going to amount to something later. And this is a time to say yes to those things. So say yes to yourself. And I love you guys so much, my Aries risings. Thank you, or my Aries risings, my Aries placements, not just risings, my Aries placements. Thank you so very much for listening. I hope to catch you in a future reading. Hello, my beautiful Taurians or Tauruses. Welcome to your Scorpio message. Today, we are going to be looking for everybody who has Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus or Mars Taurus. I am a Taurus sun, so what's good, family? Hello. Excuse me. First, and of course I would start coughing on my sign. Goodness gracious, divine, calm down. But first and foremost, we see surrender to the divine for you guys. So surrendering to the divine, I feel like this month, especially if you're a Taurus rising, you're going to be going through your 7th house, which is the house of Libra. And that talks about relationships, businesses, contracts, things like that. Be careful. We are going into Mercury retrograde. So try not to sign any contracts until that's over. Retrograde starts on the 31st, and I'm not actually sure when it ends. I think it might be sometime in December. So be careful with contracts, my Taurians. Be careful with contracts. But surrendering it to the divine, this is the full moon card, which maybe around the full moon there might be some ruckus. There usually is, of some sort. But I feel like this card really actually goes in tandem with our others here. We have the Magician, the Page of Wands, and the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups has come through for a lot of people with this reading. And I think ultimately it's because we are in Scorpio season and we're actually looking at and digging up a lot of past things that have happened to kind of reprocess them and realign in a new way. I think a lot of us are going through this deep transformation right now. And so we're seeing a lot of this Six of Cups coming out. However, I think for you guys with the Magician, this talks a lot about manifesting, and it talks a lot about putting your dreams and desires out there and believing that they will come to pass. So I do think this month, Taurians, you guys, a lot of you are going to be putting forth that effort. You guys are going to be reassessing and asking yourselves, what is it that you actually desire? Is it what you desire, or is it what somebody else has desired for you? And you're actually going to be maybe even putting things in place for yourself to bring a desired outcome. And I do feel like you guys are really looking towards your future, and you're not just looking towards it in a small way, you're looking out towards a broad spectrum future. So we have that going on. But what I want to remind you guys is whatever intention you put into your future, don't let the past hold you back. With that Six of Cups coming out, I feel like some of you guys are really hesitant to believe that you can have it. A lot of you guys are very hesitant to believe that you can live a life beyond your wildest dreams because you've been so conditioned to believe these instances from the past that have made it not so. Maybe every endeavor you've ever set out to hasn't worked out. Every business has failed. Every job you've lost. Every relationship you've lost. Every home you've lost. And so you have this idea that you're just not cut out to have whatever it is, and you think you're destined for mediocrity, when in reality you have so much more power than you could possibly imagine right now. And any outcome you desire, you just need to look for it and then release it. Surrender it to the divine. Give it to your angels. Give it to God. Give it to Source. You know, ask for what you desire and then let it go, and rest assured that it will come. When a Magician comes up, I want you guys to understand how powerful that is. That is literally all the powers of the universe conspiring with you to bring a desired outcome. I just got goosebumps. Like, this is the tea, sis. Like, drink the tea. It's piping hot, but it's a good, like, no, it's the perfect temperature. It's the perfect temperature tea for you to have to bring about what you desire. And with that, I asked for something that's going to be coming up to transform this month because it is Scorpio season. And the card that came out was the Self card. So I actually feel like for you guys, you are going to be doing a really great job, or you're going to be working towards, it might be rough at first, you're actually going to be working on your herd mentality. You're going to be sifting through ideas that maybe are someone else's that you thought were yours. And when I say ideas, I'm not talking about like creative projects. I'm talking about like spiritual beliefs. I'm talking about beliefs about life in general that maybe you originally got from a parent or guardian or a friend or a family member. And you're going to be asking yourself, do I actually believe this, or do I believe this because somebody told me to believe it? So you're actually going to be coming into a more powerful way of believing in yourself and for yourself. And then I asked for a specific message from Source for you guys, and we got the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. So what you're going through right now, I feel like a lot of you guys need to surrender things to the divine and let your past go. Because in order for you to go forth in the way that you want to, those things can't come with you. You have to let them go, because if you don't and you don't surrender them, like, really picture this with me. A very strong message is coming through for Taurians, okay? Really, really picture this one with me. You imagine yourself living a life in a certain way. All of us, I feel like to a degree, do this. We all see like a quote unquote better version of ourselves running around when we think about our desires. Now ask yourself what you do on a day-to-day basis. If you're sitting, and this is just an example, not everybody is doing this, but if you're just sitting there being petty and ungrateful and angry at the world and angry at all these situations and at things not working out in your favor or what you seem or what you think isn't working out for you, do you think that version of yourself that has all of the desires that you have been wanting, do you think that version of you holds on to all those things, or do you think they live a more peaceful life? The idea is to live that life now so you can cross into the threshold of it, to become an energetic and a vibrational match for it so you can go forward in it. So that's the message that came through for you guys. That one was a doozy, sorry. But I love you guys so much, my Taurians. I love you, love you, love you. As a Taurus myself, I feel like it would be a very big shame if I didn't. But I hope you guys have a lovely Scorpio season, and I'll catch you guys again real soon. Bye. Hello, my lovely Geminis. Welcome to your Scorpio season reading. For you, my lovely Geminis, if you are a Gemini rising that is listening now, rest assured this is still Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mars. I just wanted to include this in here too. If you are a Gemini rising, right now we are actually going to be transiting your 6th house in Scorpio. The 6th house corresponds to Virgo. This governs health, service, and routines. So there might be some routines that you need to be putting in place, and also putting in routines for the betterment of your health. And that could be mental, physical, whatever it might be. It's a really good time for you to also organize your place and your spaces and just kind of get really clear on your direction. It's just a really good time for organization, I would say. And transforming your life through that, transforming your spaces, transforming your routines, transforming your body. Maybe if you want to get into more of a health routine, it's just a good time for that. So first and foremost, the first thing we have for you guys is nothing will come of this situation with the void of course moon. So if there's something that has been on your mind that you've been really stressed out about, anybody with major Gemini energy, myself included, I'm a Gemini moon. We all know about how wild that mind can be and how much it can race if we allow it to. So if there's something that's been majorly stressing you out, rest assured that whatever that thing is, nothing is going to come of it. And it could also be something that you've been really wanting that I feel like it's not going to happen. And I say that because we have the 3 of Swords, the 3 of Cups, and also the Page of Pentacles. And I feel like for some of you guys, there was something that you put a lot of effort and positive intention into, and it's just not going to work out. However, I don't want to leave you with that kind of message, because it actually gets better than that. Because from that situation that didn't work out, the universe was actually blocking that from you so something better could come through. Because now we have a transformation from a 3 of Swords to a 3 of Cups. The 3 of Cups is celebrating with people that you love and admire, and also a celebration of self with those people. So I feel like a better opportunity is actually going to come through from this. Basically, the message that really is clear to me is that because this didn't work, something better, room was made for something better. And it also could be that you recently maybe went through a breakup, or you have cut somebody off from your life, and now maybe you're thinking that maybe you shouldn't have done that and you're wanting them to come back. No. Let them fall away. Let that situation go. Do not call them. Do not. Because with them falling out of your life, you've made room for the right kind of people to come through that actually want to support you and raise you higher. So do not. And it's also going to be a time of potentially financial abundance for some of you. It's also going to be a time for skill building. So if there was an opportunity that you set out for that you didn't get, it's also an opportunity for you to actually build on your skill. I think some of you maybe even entered contests. Maybe they're like a photography contest or something that maybe you were really trying to show off your skills. Don't take this as you're bad at your craft. It just means your craft maybe needs a little bit more work. So don't take that in like the worst way possible. Now, I asked for something that will be transforming for you this month, or a blockage that you could work on. And for you guys, I got the Faith card. The card of faith really speaks to, number one, just your personal faith in general. This might be you actually coming into a new form of spirituality, but this also talks about the belief of yourself and having faith in yourself to carry out things that you want to carry on with. So having complete faith in yourself that you've made the right decisions and you've done all that you could. And that no matter the situation, this Three of Swords that has been coming out for you, or that has been coming out, that came out for you guys, no matter what this is, have faith that you made the right decision. And also recognize that the thing that maybe needs to be transformed for you during this Scorpio season is the faith that you have in yourself to actually achieve that which you desire. So I have somebody else got a reading today too that talked about like how you need to just not talk so negatively to yourself all the time, because it's not helpful. It doesn't help you and you're only hurting yourself. So have a little more faith in yourself. And a message from a source for you guys, I got Council of Light, Divine Orchestration, Helpers in Subtle Realms. So this thing that you did not receive that you were wanting, it was a good thing. Your spirit guides were looking out for you. Your angels, your ancestors were like, no, 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 no. If you go down this path, it's actually going to be terrible for you. So they were looking out for you. So rest assured that this was like fated. Whatever this was, it happened for a reason. And maybe if it was that breakup, like this is not the person that's for you, and you need to just let it rest and have more faith in yourself. So I hope that helps you out, Gemini. Thank you so very much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Scorpio season, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Bye. Hello there, my beautiful Cancers, one of my favorite signs. Hello, friends. Welcome to your Scorpio season message. If you are a Cancer rising, now rest assured this Cancer message is still for all Cancers, sun, moons, and risings, as well as Mars and Venus. But if you are a Cancer rising, this month you are going to be lit up by your 5th house. And the 5th house corresponds to the sign of Leo, which has a lot to do with getting in touch with the inner child and childlike play. So making things a little bit more carefree and resting a little bit easy is going to be a big saving grace for you during this big period of transformation. Scorpio season is a time of deep transformation and introspection. So right off the bat, what I see for you guys is a win-win outcome is forecast with the full moon in Libra. Reading kind of ahead before I even show you what's here, it looks to me like you guys may have to be making some choices this season, and I want you to rest assured that no matter the choice that you guys make, it will be for your highest and greatest good, so you don't really need to go forth in the decision with fear. Even if it leads you down 2 totally different pathways, no matter which you choose, there's no wrong choices. Now, I do, for my Cancerians here, feel that there might be a little bit of worry coming up for you guys, and that's why I said, don't worry. No matter what path you go down, it's going to maybe be a different path than the other, but you have nothing to be afraid of in that. We have the 4 of Pentacles, the 3 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords talks specifically about stress and worry. Look at this guy. He's up late at night in bed, stressing about his future, stressing about things that haven't happened yet. And the 4 of Pentacles, to me, really talks about the home and the foundation. So I feel like some of you, actually, that's funny because I know a Cancer rising that is in that process. Some of you are potentially going into the home buying process, and that is causing a lot of grief, or you're having to make decisions between friends and family. I feel like both of these cards really can signify that surround it. And that's how these cards came out. The worry card kind of came out in the middle of these 2 things. So I do feel like there is maybe some financial worry going on, but also there's like a support structure worry at the same time. So I feel like you guys are having to maybe even balance friendship and family, or money and community, or money and fun to a degree. And I feel like you guys are so scared to make a decision on anything because you don't want to hurt other people. But in reality, no matter the decisions that you guys make, even if somebody does get hurt, it's not your problem. And I know for somebody with major Cancer energy, that's like such a hard truth to accept. But I would highly encourage you guys, Cancers, if you have not read the book, oh my gosh, what is it called? The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. That book will shift your perspective on caring what anybody thinks ever again. I need to read it again, honestly. But I feel like you guys are so afraid to make a decision because you don't want to make the wrong decision. And that's honestly what's keeping you up. And so I do feel like during this time of transformation, some of these choices might be choices that are deeply transformative. They are choices between moving to a different location than where you thought you were going to be. They are choices in, like I said, relocating. It could be a job change that maybe you have in mind. These are big life-changing decisions that are coming up for you guys, but no wrong choice can be made. That's what I really want you guys to hold on to. And it's funny because we also have the choice card, and I asked the cards for these messages what was going to be transforming for you and what you could see maybe transforming during Scorpio season, or a blockage maybe. And the choice card came out. Now, the choice card is all about you not wanting to make a decision and kind of running from making choices because, again, you don't want to make a wrong choice. I feel like this whole reading has just like parroted itself, but it's like you don't want to make any choices because you're afraid you're going to make a wrong move. And maybe even the choices that are presented to you, you don't like. With the house buying situation, it could be that maybe you have all these houses being presented to you, but you don't really love any one of them. And you're constantly in search of this perfect choice when it doesn't really exist at this time. Now, I'm not saying don't manifest that perfect home and don't manifest that perfect reality, but maybe in order to get to that, there needs to be a stepping stone point and you have to make some hard decisions. So this is about you just trying to like run away from the problems instead of making a choice. And during this season, that's the transformation that's going to come through. And unfortunately with this card, it talks a lot about, in the reverse with a blockage going on, it talks a lot about how if you don't start making a choice, for some of you, someone else will come in and make the decision for you. So if this is for a job and it's kind of that life-changing, maybe the job is going to end up getting filled because you took too long to make a choice. Or if this is about a school and you're choosing between schools, they're going to fill that spot and just take it away. So make a choice. And a message from source for you guys, I got the crumbling. What are you clinging on to? And this card, it's not quite like the tower, but I would say that it kind of mirrors the tower a little. It's not like drama like the tower, or your life is going to fall apart like the tower, or, you know, necessarily having like a tower moment. It's more about what ideals are you clinging to that don't actually resonate with you. Actually, I feel like the last reading we did, which would have been for Gemini, we talked about, I think it was Gemini, we were talking about like a herd mentality and how like that honestly is not like, you need to think about your own ideals and what you want. Don't like, I keep going back to this house thing. I think it's probably because I know a Cancer rising, so I'm sorry about that. That's the analogy that I keep coming back to. But like, think about it on that scale. You know, maybe you want a certain kind of house, but make sure you want a house that fulfills your criteria, not because you want to keep up with the Joneses or impress your mom or impress somebody else with all that you have. Pick up on something because it's what you want and what you desire. So, you know, what are you clinging to when it's not actually you? It could also be the same with choosing a school or a job. Don't choose the one that you think is going to give you more clout. Choose it because it's what you desire and what feels aligned with you. So that is what I have for you, my beautiful Cancers. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of Scorpio season, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye. Hello, my dear Leos. Welcome to your Scorpio season message. If you guys are Leo risings, this is going to be your 4th house being transited through for Scorpio season. And the 4th house is the house of Cancer. So this talks a lot about hearth and home. You may find that you guys are wanting to spend a little bit more time at home. You may find arguments erupting at home if it's not a good time. You may also find that you want to decorate and kind of revamp your home as well. So a lot of things, anything that's like based around the home is really where your heart is going to be during this season. With a time of such deep transformation with Scorpio, I feel like you can expect some transformations at home home, in your relationships with those closest to you. Now, let's go ahead and see what the cards have to say. So first and foremost, we have it's time to take action, new moon in Aries. So for you guys, this time, even though you may be spending a lot of time at home, this is actually going to be a really good time for you to take action on those projects that you've maybe let fall by the wayside. Whether this is growing your business, working towards a promotion, growing a relationship with family members that maybe you've kind of let fall down by the wayside, people that maybe you haven't spoken to in a while. It's going to be a good time for you to actually take up the reins and try to start making a difference. And, maybe just because you feel like the phone works both ways, like maybe it's a good time to just pick up the phone and just take the initiative is what I'm getting. Now, for some of you guys, I feel like this season is going to be extremely spiritual for you. Whenever we see a high priestess, she is the woman that sits between the seen and the unseen, the world where our ancestors are and the world where we are. She kind of sees and knows all. She has very high psychic gifts, and the high priestess is one of my favorite cards in the tarot. And she also is a beautiful divine creator, because we do have the pomegranates on the card that also symbolize divine creation. And they also talk a lot about birth and femininity. But I do feel like a lot of you guys are potentially second guessing your gifts this month. Like maybe you have this like crazy intuitive notion to reach out to someone, and then you're like, no, I'm not going to do it. That's silly. But in reality, like your intuition is so on point this month and this season. And when we see this Five of Cups, I feel like some of you guys are questioning what you don't currently have. And you're also questioning what you've lost. Like if there's a relationship that you feel like you've lost, someone you feel like you've lost, a situation, a circumstance, a job, you're very focused. And this card has come up a few times today. You guys are very hyper focused on this, like, but it was so good, and look what I've done. Look what I've done. Look what I've done. Instead of focusing on the good things that you still have in your life. So, use your intuition to maybe ask what that subject is, or maybe you already know when I said it because you've been so focused on it already. But I feel like some of you guys are kind of wallowing when you don't need to. And in all fairness, I feel like with this, it's time to take action. Maybe whatever this thing that you've been wallowing in, it's time to let it go and move forward onto the next adventure, even if you don't feel totally ready, because we also have the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands to me really signifies two different things. And again, this is a generalized message. So one, it could be that you are gearing up for something when you don't feel completely ready. You are about to make big moves and shakes in your life, even though you feel like you're completely run down. You're saddling up and doing the damn thing anyways. Or it could also signify that you are just getting very, very close to the completion of a cycle. The Nine of Wands talks a lot about creative passions and creative projects, and you just need to go a little bit more, and then you'll be done and you'll get to that 10. So take that into account. And then something that is transforming for you guys this month, I feel like, because maybe it's because we've been wallowing and we're ready to be done with it, but something that is transforming for you guys, or a potential blockage that's coming up that needs transforming, is we have the Eight of Water. And the Eight of Water in this kind of a position really talks about having a lack of gratitude for what you already have. So this is a time where if you've been ungrateful for your home or your space, or if you've been ungrateful for the supportive relationships that you have, or the clothes on your back, the food in your cupboards, whatever it might be, if you've been ungrateful, now is the time to get grateful, to turn around and say, wow, actually, I have people who love me unconditionally. I have a meal that I know where it's coming from tonight. I have a roof over my head, internet to watch this video. This is about really aligning yourself with gratitude this month. So wherever you feel like your life has fallen short, you're being asked to put those things by the wayside and actually be grateful for what's already there. And lastly, a message from source for you guys. I have Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, and Teacher. And I think this is really rad because we did get the High Priestess in your guys' reading. And so this is almost like the High Priestess again in a way. Like you are somebody that has so much potential to actually be more intuitive. Rest assured, all of us have psychic and intuitive gift. Some people have to work at them a little bit harder, but as you work that muscle, you have the ability to literally divine anything and be psychic and have prophetic dreams and be able to divine your own future and the future of others. I'm not special. Nobody is special. Everybody has the ability to tap into that. You just have to work it out. And I feel like the message from source is like, you are the oracle. You are your own diviner. So work on that. Practice your skills in that if it's something that you're interested in, and believe that you are able to do it. But I hope this message is... I hope this message reached you well, Leo. Thank you so very much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of Scorpio season. Bye. Hello, my beautiful Virgos. Welcome to your Scorpio season reading. I hope you are well. If you are a Scorpio rising, this is actually your third house that is being lit up this month. The third house corresponds to the house of Gemini, and Gemini actually is our house of communication. So this could be communications with friends in the workplace. Expect to maybe be a little bit more chatty than normal because you are wanting to converse with others. It's a good time to also work towards building community if that's something that you feel like is lacking in your life. Now, for you guys, my wonderful Virgos, right off the bat, we have a new romantic cycle begins. So you guys are actually journeying into a new cycle of your life. Something new is bursting forward. Something new is being born into the world. For some of you, that could actually be children. For some of you, that could be a new home, a new job, a new business, a new creative project. Maybe you're going to meet somebody new. It could actually be that this is the month that you meet your future partner in life. If you've been looking for romance or trying to manifest romance, you may, by word of mouth, actually meet that person. So I'm excited for you guys. Your guys' reading is so positive. I think for Scorpio season, you guys, out of all the readings I've done, have gotten the most positive reading. You guys have the most positive cards. No cards are overtly negative. Like they're all there and meant to teach us different things, but the Virgo reading is fire this month. We have the 10 of Pentacles, the 3 of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune. So for you guys, this is going to be a really abundant time. I would expect bonuses, raises, new money coming your way. There is definitely a plethora of financial abundance coming your way, especially when we see it with the Wheel of Fortune paired together. The Wheel of Fortune could be an actual like dramatic windfall of financial abundance coming your way. And it's like all the energy that you have been putting out into the world, you're finally receiving it back, which is a really beautiful place to be. So for you guys, I do feel like financially this month, you guys are going to see something really amazing. If you haven't like already right in the beginning of Scorpio season, then you will be seeing it. Now with the 3 of Pentacles coming out, I feel like for you guys, you're also blessed with an abundance of really good, loving, supportive friends. Like you guys are just killing it this month. You have financial abundance in the bag, karmic abundance in the bag, and also people around you that want to love you and support you and nurture you. And I want you guys to understand, Virgo, this message is coming through so strong right now. You guys did this. You guys made this happen because of your positive influence and the things that you have really put into place for yourself and for those around you, because you have done the mother effing work. Those of you that are like super high vibrating Virgos, because you have done the mother effing work on yourselves, that deep shadow work that is so difficult sometimes, especially for Virgo, because I feel like you guys have a really hard time in picking yourselves apart. Virgo is really good at that because you're so analytical. You're analytical with others, but you're also extremely analytical on yourselves. So I want you guys to understand that because of all of your positive, loving earth energy, you made this happen. You attracted the right people. You attracted the financial abundance. You attracted the job, the promotion, the raise. And it's like that good energy that you put out is finally circulating back to you, and it's beautiful. So embrace it. Have a good time. Now, the one thing I want to say is I asked if there was anything being transformed for you guys this month, or what you could work to transform, or something that maybe is a potential blockage. And we have the crone. The crone coming out in this kind of a position really speaks on the behalf of you needing to stand up for yourself. And I feel like with this Three of Pentacles, this actually could be in the work or school place or with friends. You need to stand up for yourself. If something like, I feel like especially with Virgo, y'all are so methodical that you're trusted with the world. And sometimes people put the world on your shoulders because you're so good at getting the job done. And if you are feeling overwhelmed, this is like being told that you need to learn how to speak up a little bit louder. You need to learn how to tell people, hey, this is too much for me right now. And don't be sorry about it. No is a complete sentence. I've had to have that talk with a few of you guys during this reading. No is a complete sentence. So be that crone of your life. The crone can also speak to someone that is childless. I feel like in this position that doesn't necessarily stand out. But usually the crone is somebody that's like wise beyond their years and childless. But not, I feel like that's really only in the upright position. For this, we're looking more at the blockage side of things, but this also could very much represent for you a relationship that you need to put your foot down in, that is a maternal relationship, somebody that is an older female than you, that all of their children have left the nest. So this could be bringing up this Scorpio season transformations with your relationship with your mother or mother figures in your life. So keep that in mind. That's where the childless was coming from. I was like, where is this message? You're telling me childless, spirit, but like where? That was it. And lastly, a message from the divine for you guys. We have play, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. So be serious when you have to be, but recognize that you don't need to be serious all the time. It's okay to relax, take a step back, take a breather, and have fun. Enjoy this. Enjoy this time of your life right now, because everything is cyclical. And I don't mean that to scare you. I don't mean that like, oh, tomorrow it's all going to go away. No, I'm just telling you that everything is cyclical. We have times where we wax and we wane, just like the moon. And so really embrace and enjoy this like super abundant, amazing time. I love you so much, my Virgos. And that one Virgo that I know is watching knows how much I love them. I hope you are absolutely well. And I love you guys so much, my beautiful earth angels, and I will catch you in another video real soon. Bye. Hello there, my beautiful Libras. Welcome to your Scorpio season message. Today for you guys, if you are a Libra rising, which if you're not, this message is still for you. Sun, moon, rising, Venus, or Mars. But if you are a Libra rising, this Scorpio season actually falls into your second house, or the house of Taurus. And this actually is all about finances, your finances and your material gain. So if you are looking to manifest wealth, material gain, or up your finances or change them, this is a really good time to manifest more abundance, financial abundance into your life, and get a little bit more zero focused on your finances. Now, first and foremost for you, my beautiful Libras, I see step out of your comfort zone with the North Node card. So for you guys, I actually do offer natal chart readings on my Discord. I don't know if I will when we move to the website, so make sure you grab one before I stop selling them. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do. I don't know. I want to retool those. But with the North Node, everybody has a North and South Node in their natal chart. And if you buy a reading from me, I go over that with you. I think they're like $50 right now. And it's more than just your North and South Node, obviously. But stepping out of your comfort zone with the North Node, wherever your North Node is, you kind of come into this life, or you're conditioned into what your South Node is. And you're meant to, over the span of your life, work towards your North Node. So they always are polarized as well. You always have a North and South Node that are complete opposites of each other. So this is all about stepping out of your comfort zone and actually grasping that which maybe doesn't always make you feel super comfortable. So for you guys, I feel like diving into something that maybe doesn't always sound appealing to you, or putting yourself in situations that aren't your norm, might be a good thing for you to do. It might drive you towards something a little bit different that you never would have thought possible this season, especially during the season of transformation. Like, do things that are a little bit uncomfortable. And the Page of Swords tells me that I feel like this might be a little bit of a surprise for you, because the Page of Swords is about trying new things. And with that, I feel like you guys may actually come away potentially a little bit confused, because we do have the Eight of Swords as well, which tells me that you might come away feeling like you're a little bit in a mental prison. I feel like you guys are actually going to be going through a little bit of expansion during this time. I feel like your mind is going to be a little bit more open to things that maybe you weren't previously open to, because when you explore new things, new cultures, new places, you start to understand how other people, other cultures, and other situations operate, maybe from a way that you didn't think it was prior. And it can kind of shake you up when you've been built on a certain kind of a foundation. And I say that with expansion because I also pulled the Hierophant for you guys. And the Hierophant, to me, talks about higher learning. So this could be you delving deep into your own spirituality. This could be you diving into traditions of cultures or of family and asking yourself why you even participate in them, and trying things that are different from what you would normally be doing. And I feel like you're going to be very surprised by what you find in doing that. And for you guys, I also feel that something that is transforming for you this month, or a blockage that maybe you are working with, we have the Mother card, and the Mother is someone that normally, when it's not in terms of a transformation or a blockage, is very giving and nurturing and loving. But when we see it in this kind of position, the Mother really speaks on how we either might be manipulating situations, and we need to be a little bit more careful with how we're using our own power and our own words, and how we speak to others and deal with others. But it also talks about how we are giving too much of ourselves, and we need to actually kind of dial it back a little bit and give more to us instead of constantly giving ourselves away. And I feel like Libra, all y'all know that you're guilty of that shit, because you guys are some of the most gracious hosts on the planet that will go to the ends of the earth to make other people very comfortable in your home or in your space. You guys want to nurture and give support and give love, and you're really, really, really good at it, but you need to make some time for you too to also receive the love and receive the nurture, and stop deflecting. People want to nurture you and love you, so let them. Don't deflect it and just make a joke out of it, because I feel, and I'm not trying to shit on you guys, because I am a Gemini moon. I get this. I feel like us with major air energy in our charts are very good at taking emotional situations and making them funny, because we don't know how to process emotions the same way that maybe other people do. And it's different depending on where your placements are. This is why I brought that natal chart thing up. But it's different depending on where your placements are. But especially if it's like an air moon, if you came here, if you're a Libra moon, I feel like you guys, and again, myself included, Gemini moon here, it's harder for us to process our emotions like everybody else. We don't feel things. We tend to talk through things a little bit more or deflect them. So, you know, let other people nurture you. Lean on other people when you need that support. And I do feel like you guys, it's just going to be really different. I feel like this season that you're going through is going to be different because maybe you're just in a new atmosphere as well that you wouldn't normally be in. I feel like you guys should expect to be a little bit shaken out of your comfort zones. And lastly, a message from Source for you guys. We have, you're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. So this is so beautiful because you got step out of your comfort zone with the North Node, and you also got keep facing your true north. So whatever it is that lights you up, that creates that spark, that fire in your belly, whatever it is, keep following that. You're already on the right path, and don't stop putting yourself in new situations that maybe you've never really thought to try. Because here's the thing that I know, especially if you're a creative type, here's something that the message I need to share is, if you literally are in the same four walls day in and day out, you don't go outside, you don't meet with different people, you don't experience the world differently, you don't travel to other countries or travel to other states and experience more culture, when you are just surrounded by the same stuff every single day, it doesn't really leave any room for you to be inspired, because you're constantly filtering through your subconscious the same information that you've always been receiving. So don't be afraid to kind of step outside of that. I feel like, again, you're going to be very surprised in a positive way. So I love you so much, my Libras. One of my bestest friends in the whole world is a Libra, and I hope he watches this video. But I love you guys so much. Have a wonderful Scorpio season, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye. All right, my loves, that is all for this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Please do not forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I am at kozykale, and I will see you guys in a future video. And don't forget, if you want to book me for a reading, information for that is down below. And bye.